All right, buckle up because we're diving into a landscape that's shifting.
Oh, tell me about it.
You want to stay ahead of the curve.
Right.
Not just with your investments, but like your entire business model.
Mm.
So today we're going deep on how global markets are being reshaped by everything from big tech power plays to the rise of AI.
It's fascinating how these seemingly, you know what I mean, these threads that you wouldn't think are connected are totally interwoven. You've got traditional markets reacting to things like interest rate fluctuations. But then on the other side of the coin, you've got the world of AI where the rule book is practically being written in real time.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Let's start with these rumblings in the mergers and acquisitions world.
Mm-hmm.
We know low interest rates usually get those gears turning, but what's different this time around?
Well, I mean, lower rates make borrowing cheaper, which often translates to more, bolder moves by companies looking to expand.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's not a free-for-all. The DirecTV merger debacle really highlights that regulatory hurdles are higher than ever.
It's not just about the money anymore.
Having the money is just the first hurdle now.
You got
It's a whole other ball game.
So it's not just about the financial game anymore. It's about navigating this complex regulatory landscape, too.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, we're seeing this trend, I find it really interesting, of hedge funds kind of quietly shifting away from U.S. big tech.
Yeah.
That's got to have some people sweating, right?
I think it's less about fear and more about recognizing where the opportunities are. While U.S. tech titans are still major players, the real question is,
are their valuations justified in this new climate?
Right.
Especially with China's tech scene. You've got companies like Alibaba poised for, I think, explosive growth.
Interesting.
There's inherent risk, yes, but the potential upside
Huge.
is enormous if they play their cards right.
Wow.
It's a gamble for sure, but a calculated one.
It almost feels like we're witnessing a changing of the guard, or at least the potential for one.
Yeah, you could say that.
So for someone looking at their own investment strategy, what's the takeaway here? Like, how do you even begin to assess these global shifts?
That is the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
And I think the most crucial thing to remember is that past performance,
It's
not a guarantee of future results.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The name of the game is adaptability.
Adaptability.
And understanding the forces at play.
Okay.
What's happening with U.S. tech, China's rise. These aren't isolated events.
Right.
They're all pieces of a larger puzzle.
And that puzzle is what we're trying to solve today.
Exactly.
So with that in mind, let's shift gears from the financial sector to something that impacts businesses on a much more granular level.
Okay.
Supply chains.
Right.
This whole concept of predictive procurement almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Except it's very much a reality now.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah, and a necessary one.
Okay.
Given, the increasing complexities of global commerce.
Right.
I mean, to really understand it, you got to imagine this.
Well,
Instead of simply reacting to disruptions in your supply chain, you have a system that anticipates problems before they even occur.
What?
That's what platforms like Castro are doing.
Okay.
Leveraging the power of AI and game theory to fundamentally change how businesses manage their procurement processes.
Wow. So instead of those fire drills when like a supplier hits a snag and a shipment goes off,
Yeah.
of course you're able to kind of navigate those potential disruptions proactively.
Precisely. And you see the impact in a really tangible way.
Oh.
Think about it. One of Castro's clients, a major manufacturer, managed to shrink their procurement process
Wow.
from a nail-biting 12 weeks down to just 3.
Get out of here.
This isn't just about efficiency. It's about resilience.
Okay.
In a world where agility is paramount.
That kind of time saving is incredible.
Oh, it's huge.
3 weeks versus 3 months. That completely changes the game.
Absolutely.
It's like the difference between reacting to a crisis and like completely sidestepping it.
Exactly.
But how does it actually work? Like what's going on behind the scenes that makes this level of predictive power possible?
Well, it's a combination of cutting-edge technology and just a really clever strategy.
Okay.
We're talking about AI being used to analyze these massive data sets.
Right.
Everything from historical shipping data and weather patterns to geopolitical events, even social media sentiment.
Wow.
They can then use game theory to model different scenarios and predict potential disruptions with remarkable accuracy.
So it's not just about having a crystal ball.
No.
It's about making sense of all the noise out there.
Yes.
All the factors that could impact a business.
Right.
And distilling that into actionable insights.
Exactly.
It's like having this team of analysts working around the clock, constantly scanning the horizon for like potential problems, but also opportunities.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just about mitigating risks either.
Right.
This technology can actually identify opportunities,
Okay.
like alternative suppliers with better pricing,
Oh, interesting.
or faster shipping routes that might have been totally overlooked before.
So it's about making the entire supply chain smarter, more agile, and more responsive to the ever-changing global landscape.
100%.
Speaking of adapting to change, let's talk about another area where the rulebook is being written in real time.
Let's do it.
AI itself.
Okay.
We saw this really heated debate in California over SB 2047.
Right?
The bill aimed at regulating AI safety. What was the crux of that debate, and what does it tell us about the challenges of managing this rapidly evolving technology?
Well, SB 147 was a really interesting case study in the complexities of AI regulation. I mean, the intention behind the bill was understandable, aiming to ensure that AI models are rigorously evaluated for potential risks before they're released into the wild.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially trying to get ahead of the curve.
Sort of like predictive procurement.
Exactly.
For AI itself.
It's 100%.
Anticipating the potential pitfalls and putting safeguards in place.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Okay.
But the devil is always in the details.
Right.
And while the goal of SB 147 was certainly laudable, Governor Newsom ultimately vetoed it.
He did.
He did, arguing that it was simultaneously too broad and too narrow.
That sounds like a paradox.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
How can a bill be both too broad and too narrow?
Right.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. Basically, the governor argued that on one hand, it casts too wide a net, potentially stifling innovation across the entire AI sector.
Okay, I see.
But then on the other hand, critics argued it didn't go far enough in addressing specific concerns like algorithmic bias or the potential misuse of AI for malicious purposes.
So it's that classic dilemma of trying to strike that right balance between fostering innovation and mitigating risk.
Yeah.
It seems like every time we take a step forward in the world of technology, we create new questions and challenges that we haven't even begun to consider.
It's a constant evolution, right?
Like we're constantly playing catch up, right?
Right. Yeah, or like we're, navigating uncharted territory. Right. We're having to adjust our compass as we go.
But that seems to be the overarching thing here, isn't it? Whether we're talking about global markets or supply chains or even AI itself, the ability to adapt seems to be the key to not just surviving, but thriving.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
What I find so fascinating is how all these threads connect back to this idea of adaptability.
Right.
Think about it. Your investment portfolio needs to be adaptable to weather these market shifts.
Right.
Your supply chain needs to be adaptable to navigate disruptions and seize opportunities. Yeah. And even how we approach regulating these emerging technologies like AI, it requires that same flexibility to foster innovation while at the same time safeguarding against potential risks.
Yeah, it's more than just acknowledging change. It's about
totally
anticipating it, embracing it even.
100%.
And building systems and strategies that can kind of evolve alongside it.
Precisely. And that goes for, businesses and individuals alike.
Right,
the companies that'll thrive in the years to come.
Yeah.
They won't be the ones resisting change.
Right.
It's going to be the ones that can adapt the quickest, learn from their experiences, and pivot when they need to.
It's a call to action for all of us, isn't it?
It really is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you would leave our listeners with?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That one nugget of wisdom to help them navigate this shifting landscape.
Okay, so knowing what we've discussed today about, these global shifts, these technological advancements, ask yourself this. What can you do today to make yourself, your business, or even just your own investment strategy more adaptable? What steps can you take to not just, weather the storm, but really embrace that uncertainty and turn it into an advantage?
Ooh, I like that.
Those are the questions I think that are worth pondering as we all kind of navigate this exciting, albeit unpredictable future.
Consider that your homework, folks.
Yeah.
Because in a world where the only constant is change the ability to adapt, that's your competitive advantage.
Couldn't have said it better myself.